If you are a runner, your friends may have told you that running will ruin your knees. That has been debunked, but as an older runner, you may still have to deal with knee pain, and there is such a thing as runner's knee. On today's video, I'll be talking about knee pain in runners, especially older ones. Hey running friends, Wrinkled Runner here. If you've ever had pain in your knee during or after a run, you know that it can cause you to want to give up. Interestingly, women have more knee issues because of our hip structure, so strengthening that area is something we should all be doing, no matter what our age, to try and prevent knee pain from happening in the first place. Runner's knee is an injury that all runners of all ages can get, especially those who are just beginning. The motion of running, if it's not something that you're used to, can irritate the area under the kneecap and cause pain. If you're sitting for a long time or the knee hurts going upstairs, you may have runner's knee. The irritation and pain of runner's knee is probably what has contributed to the notion that running is bad for the knees. The causes of runner's knee could be that your body is off balance or even overpronation of your feet, which is when your foot rolls inward. The way we pronate used to be a very big deal with runners and what shoes we should pick, but the latest science doesn't put as high a priority in that, especially for new runners. Pop-Tart? Comfort is the number one thing you should look for in a shoe. Overpronation can still cause you issues that don't have anything to do with what shoes you should buy, so the best thing you should do if you're having pain in your knee is to see your doctor. There are various things he or she may have you do to try and alleviate the pain. And a doctor is the best resource for finding the cause of pain in the knee. My granddog is here. I'm watching him. So he's playing with his toys in the background. If your knees don't bother you when running, and sometimes injuries and irritations seem to cause pain when you aren't running instead of when you are, you should still take some extra rest days and reduce your mileage. Avoiding running downhill can help too, believe it or not. If any kind of pain causes you to change how you run because you are compensating for it, you need to stop and take off a few days. Now that I'm an older runner, running downhill seems to be much harder on my legs and knees. If the pain you are experiencing happens when you run as well, instead of just when you're not running, take a break from running, go for a swim, do the elliptical, or something else if you have access to one, until you can find out what's going on with your doctor. When you do try again, do some easy running at a slower pace and less mileage. Previous knee injuries or a previous tear in your ACL, with or without surgery, can cause pain if you start to run. Again, talking to your doctor can help. In the older runner, there are 3 things that can contribute to knee pain. The first being osteoarthritis, and that's the breakdown of the cartilage just from living life. Gravity keeps us on the ground, but it can also be a literal pain. Obesity, which is a contributing factor to whether you get osteoarthritis or not, is also something that we have to consider with our knees. As we age, we tend to gain weight more and more around our belly, and it's harder to take off. Number 3 are muscle changes that our body goes through as we age. Your muscles can shrink by up to 40% by the time you hit 60. That blew my mind. I never knew that before. I was really surprised by that. And that makes the hips and other muscles in your legs have to work all the harder to get you from point A to point B. Now the good news is studies have shown that runners do not have more arthritis than non-runners. In fact, runners had to have less knee surgery than non-runners for knee issues. One of the things you can do to help your knees is to exercise them, which I know it can be difficult to be consistent with strength training, especially if you love to run. But those muscles need to be active. Some exercise to try are squats, a lateral band walk, and there's a routine to try as well put out by a physical therapist. Now, I'll link you to those in the description with a caution. Don't just blindly do exercise and things off the internet and try to power through them if they are causing you intense pain or you feel like they are making you worse. Going in person to a PT or sports doc can help you get back on the road safely and stronger. If you see a doctor about your pain, be sure to tell them you're a runner. There are ways that they can help you, and knowing what you do for exercise sometimes determines the direction that they take in helping you. Next week, I'll be talking about running form. For years, I never thought twice about it, thinking that I would just run and it was what it was. I've done a few things over the past year to tweak my form a bit, and I have found it really did help. Subscribe and then join me next Wednesday morning. The Wrinkled Runner Webiverse includes a blog and podcast, which I'll link to down below. I'm also a running coach located in Buffalo, New York. I answer running questions via email at sherry@wrinkledrunner.com, and a lot of your questions become content, so it helps us both if you have an issue you'd like to share. Join my email list, which I'll link to below. You'll receive my once-a-month newsletter where I share my articles, videos, and podcast episodes, as well as any runner's resources that I found. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the run.